Well, the cows are coming in, they're getting closer. All right, well, what do I hope to gain? Well, first of all, let me say that when I was 20 years old, I think it was, I hadn't really traveled anywhere, and I hitchhiked. I hitchhiked one summer all the way from New Hampshire to Tijuana, Mexico, all the way up the coast to northern Washington State, and then back for the purpose of learning. And by hitchhiking, I got to speak with the people that would pick me up. It's not a good idea. I do not recommend it. Back in the 1960s, it was a more reasonable thing to do. I hope my cow doesn't knock the camera over. She's right there behind. All right, anyway, that's one thing. It was an extensive trip. I think 5 weeks I was gone. This isn't going to be quite so long, but in a sense, now that I'm at the end of my teaching career, I want to do something epic again like that. Another thing was my languages. I want to find out if I really can still speak Portuguese and speak Spanish, and how I'm doing with my French. And I very much want to get immersed in German, which was my weakest language, but I've learned a lot this year. So there's the languages, and I've planned a trip in such a way that I might be able to be surrounded by people who speak as many as 8 different languages. I'll tell you that as I run through the itinerary. I want to revisit Lisbon. That's how it started. Lisbon is in Portugal. I was there, the first time I was in Lisbon, I spoke no Portuguese, and I loved the city. I don't like cities either. The second time I was there, I spoke Portuguese fluently, and I loved the city. Well, it's been maybe 40 years now since I've been there, maybe more. And I want to go back to Lisbon. That's how it started. I thought I'd just make a short trip to Lisbon and back to revisit it. And specifically, the shops, the craftsmen's shops at the Museum of Decorative Arts. I should have capitalized this. This is not a very well-known museum. It's a small museum. But in that museum, there are artisan shops that I never forgot. And I want to see them again. That has to do with my plans for the Old Ways Museum, which you'll end up hearing a little bit more about it. So I want to do that. In a sense, it's almost like a pilgrimage. I want to go to that spot and revisit it before I'm finished. I want to see the land itself and what people do with their land, how they build their fences, how they build their houses. The land itself, not the tourist sites. I've seen them. I've seen a lot of the major tourist sites. I want to see the land. And toward that end, I got a Eurail pass, which is 15 days. Later on, I think I'll actually tell you. I can tell you now. Well, I'll wait until I'm done how much I think this is going to cost me. But for the sake of learning, it's worth it. For a Eurail pass that I got for 15 days, I can travel an unlimited amount on trains within 17 countries in Europe, I think. And I'll show you what I'm going to do with that. And then I want to meet my friends. I have friends in Europe, and some of them are helping me to plan this, because I'm a little worried about this trip. This is bold, what I'm trying to do. Another thing I thought about, that bicycle ride, the Tour de France. Well, this, in a sense, this is going to be like Le Tour d'Europe, a grueling tour the whole way around Europe. Anyway, but in the process, I want to meet some friends I have there, especially the woman that I call her Shirley, but that's not her real name. I want to meet her. She's helped to make this class possible. She's helped me so much. And I'll get to meet her and her husband and her sister and her friends, and we'll speak German. All right, I guess one other thing I'll show you before I do the last video is it used to be part of a standard education. If you were rich enough and you were well educated, you did the grand tour of Europe. And it basically it included London, and it went down to, it included Vienna, down to Rome, Florence, maybe back, maybe not back. But I'm going to go the opposite direction. I'm going to start in Copenhagen and go all the way down to Lisbon and back. So in a sense, I'm doing the opposite of that grand tour. And now, in the next video, I don't want to go too fast, but I do want to tell you where I'm going to be going, because I've put a lot of thought into what could be done. We'll see if I can do it. I'll let you know about that in a month. But one more video today.